In this video, I'm going to teach you something entirely new that has never been revealed, that I guarantee will give you a whole new perspective on how you approach, talk to, and attract the kinds of women that you want to date.
Hey, what's going on? My name is Joshua Pellissier, and thank you so much for clicking and watching this video. I have some information for you, and something that I've just been studying that's come to my attention that totally changed my life and gave me a completely new perspective on how I look at coaching people, on how to be good with women, on how to attract women, as well as how people learn and how to recognize their strongest style, their own personal style that works for them. Till recently, I had an idea that everybody, all guys, had the same style of meeting women. Some guys were just good at it. Some guys picked up quickly, and they could go out to a bar, they could meet women, and it wasn't a big deal. And some guys, it took them a little bit longer, but it's because they were resistant or something. I didn't really know what it was. Well, it turns out through studying a lot of psychology since I've created that curriculum and I've taught it, that that's not entirely true. I'm not saying that everything I've ever taught until now is a lie. Of course it's not, but it's only about 1/4 of what I should have been teaching. And now that I've learned this new concept, this new idea, and created a new curriculum for that idea, I have completely rewritten everything that I've done. I mean, it changed everything for me, and I want to give that to you right now and help you figure out what your strengths are so that you can work toward your strengths. So it turns out that there are major components to deciding whether or not you're going to be able to meet women in a bar atmosphere at nighttime easily. If you're one of those guys that has tried over and over and over again, all these different styles of learning, all these different styles of techniques of how to meet women, how to build attraction, and you have not just been able to get it, hasn't really clicked for you, it doesn't really feel right. Maybe it works every once in a while, but even when it does, it doesn't really feel right to you. Or if you're a guy who, you go out, you try, you meet women, it's fine, actually, you're doing okay, but you sort of hit a glass ceiling where you can't really get past it. It's like, I can go out and I can meet women, maybe I can get a telephone number or two every once in a while, or maybe often, and I just can't really seem to bring them to the date, to get them to that point where, I can go out on a date with them, I can hang out with them, I can connect with them, and I just can't really seem to do that very well. If either of those two things are true for you, then listen up very carefully, because I'm going to explain to you exactly why it is that is the case, and I'm going to explain to you what you can do in order to cultivate, to help you get yourself to the next level and finally pass that glass ceiling, as we call it, as well. So I have a program called Hacking Attraction. This is the first sort of time I've revealed this to the public, that there is something out there, there is something that decides whether or not you will be good with women or you won't be good with women. And it really has to do with your personality type. It kind of came at me from a place I didn't expect it to come, but this is how it is, and this is what I've learned. So there are two major factors that will decide whether or not you will be good. And these different factors will decide whether or not you will be good with women in an environment like a nightclub versus whether or not you will be good with women in an environment like the daytime or a cafe. So let's look at the first set of criteria that we have to go over. I'm going to ask you a question, and I want you to write down the answer. You can comment below with the answer as well if you want to. At the very bottom of this page, there'll be a comment box. You can go ahead and put that in there with your answers and let me know. The first question is, if left to your own devices, if you just had it your own way, would you rather be, or would you typically be, on time or early, or would you typically be always a little bit late? So this is the question. So not necessarily having to do with work or business, but just in general, are you typically on time or early, or are you typically a little bit late? And I'll give you a moment to write that down and think about it. It should be very quick. It shouldn't really take up a lot of your time. So some people find that they like to be on time or early all the time, and they just feel better when they are. And some people like to have a more relaxed schedule, and they don't really like to be tied down by dates and times. If you're one and you're not the other one will probably be repulsive to you. So for example, I like to be a little bit late all the time, and the thought of having to be on time for every situation really just makes me not feel right. You may be the other way around, which is really important for you to know that. The next thing I want to ask is kind of a strange question, and this one I want you to take your time with, and I want you to really think about. I'm going to have two objects here. These are pens, and I want to hold them up. Hopefully you can see them okay. And I want you to basically compare these two pens. I'll just step a little bit closer so you can see them. And just look at them for a little bit and write down the comparison and what you see for these two pens. Go ahead and do it. Whatever comes to mind, just go ahead and write down. Don't think about it too much. Just go ahead and start writing things down. I'm not going to give you any examples yet, but I will tell you what this means in a moment. So go ahead and take a good look. You got it? Get at least 3 things written down here. At least think of them in your head and have them in your mind. Okay? If you need more time, you can pause this video, but I'm going to stop now. All right, so let's look at what this means. These are the 2 questions I need to ask you, and that's it. Now I can tell you what your style is and how you're going to be good with women and how you're going to be, what areas you're going to be struggling with, and how you can work towards your strengths to use your superpowers that you don't know that you have in order to meet and attract beautiful women in your life. The first is, let's go back to the first question. If left to your own devices, would you rather be on time or early or always a little bit late? Well, if you're on time or early, I want you to put a J on your piece of paper. Write that down. Just write J. J's are judger types. They're people who like to be on time or early, like a schedule. They also like things that outside of them to be in order and familiar. This is very important, so keep this in mind. If you answer that you want to always be a little bit late, or you'd rather just be a little bit late, or if left to your own devices, you would be a little bit late if no one would judge you on that, then you are, put a P down on your piece of paper because you are a perceiver. Judgers like controlled environments. Perceivers really